of Uber, the ride-hailing app, posted a nearly $2 billion loss in the second quarter. Although its food delivery business grew, Uber Eats doubled from last year, bringing in more revenue than ride-hailing for the first time ever. Joining us right now is Bradley Tusk from Tusk Ventures. He is the founder and CEO. Bradley, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So you were an early investor in Uber. That's why we wanted to talk to you today. You had the vision of the strength of Uber when you first invested in this company, but everything's changed right now. We see what's going on with driving. What's your take on these most recent results?
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously not good, and no one's surprised by that. But I think the question that people are not asking as much as they probably should is, Uber has had a new CEO now for 3 years, and he's great at promising that things will be better one day, but he never delivers on it. So obviously, a ride-sharing business is not going to do well during a pandemic. That's fair enough. But now it's, we're going to be okay because of deliveries. But whatever it is, there's always sort of this like goalpost being moved back and back. And at a certain point, you have to question, one, will this company ever be profitable? And two, does it have the right leadership?
So do you think that Uber Eats could actually be the growth story and save this company? I mean, you're talking about leadership. Is that really, at the end of the day, all that we need here, different leadership?
Well, I think it's one thing that you need, but I think overall, no. I don't think Uber Eats in and of itself is enough to make this a $50 or $100 billion company. Maybe it's a $10 billion company, just as a really successful food delivery service in the U.S. Where ultimately Uber has to get to is that original vision that I invested in, which was, we're going to be the Amazon of transportation. And whether you're delivering a person from point A to point B, a burrito, a ton of cargo, whatever it is going through Uber in one form or another. Uber's taking a cut on every single ride and every single transaction. If Uber can achieve that original vision, it's still an amazing company, but we haven't seen anything in the last couple of years to indicate not only that they will achieve that vision, but there's even the ability internally to potentially achieve it.
Joni Courtney, jump in.
Yeah, Bradley, hi. My question really, I guess, when you look at Uber and you think of just what we're all experiencing with the pandemic, that, this is a temporary situation in the, when it pertains to transportation. Yes, things have shut down, not surprised to see their revenues decline so much. But still looking at it as this is an industry that has been temporarily impacted and could possibly even come back stronger, not only with their Uber Eats business, but wouldn't you think the ride sharing model would come back, or that there would be other things? So, I'm a little surprised to hear you say that, but, can you elaborate a little bit more on, where you think opportunities would be? What are they not looking at that could change their model?
Yeah, so look, I do think that they can keep growing the Uber Eats business. If ride sharing had been even vaguely profitable before the pandemic, then I think you could say it will come back eventually when we have a vaccine and it will be better, except that with 50 million people having filed for unemployment, I'm not sure that they have the disposable income to keep spending on Uber rides as opposed to mass transit or walking or their own cars or whatever else. But ultimately, and almost ironically, the thing that Uber could do to become profitable better than anything else, I would argue, is actually do a kind of a U-turn and embrace some of this legislative change that's saying that their drivers have to be employees, simply because if you right now are an independent contractor, you can drive for both Uber and Lyft, and that's what pretty much every single driver does. If you were an employee, Uber could say, look, you can only drive for us, you're our employee. And eventually, if Uber can do that with enough of its drivers, Lyft loses so many drivers on the platform that wait times go way up. That's how they lose customers, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and Lyft no longer exists. So if Uber ever wants to get the unit economics for ride sharing right, they probably need to drive Lyft out of business, and this would be a way to do it.
Bradley, real quick, do you want to see a change in the CEO?
Yeah, I mean, look, I sold my shares because I have no confidence in him. But I think for 3 years, we get a guy who smiles nicely and makes great promises and achieves none of it.
Okay. Well, we'll keep looking at that. Come back soon so we can talk more about that. Bradley, it's great to get your insights this morning. Thank you, sir.